After 3 months in Japan, I had a brilliant plan. What better way to get back to the United States than via a cruise? How hard can it be? Well, it turns out it was a little harder than I thought. One of my good friends works for Holland America, and there was a 2-week cruise from Tokyo all the way back to North America. Perfect. Not only would I get to see my friend, but it also timed up perfectly with my move-out date, plus getting home for my brother's graduation. At this point, we're a month out. We started working on getting a friends and family discount, but unfortunately, we never heard back, and it was getting really close to the sail date. I wasn't too stressed though. For a 14-day cruise, it honestly wasn't that expensive, so I figured if anything, I could just pay for it myself. Except when I went to book it, it was completely sold out. Something that I personally take a lot of pride in is that when unexpected things happen, I don't really get phased. I just need to make a new plan. So we have 3 different options. Plan A was to stay on the wait list for Holland America, and if I don't hear 3 days prior, then I will book Anthem overseas. For more security, plan B was just skip Holland America altogether and do Anthem. And plan C, if Holland doesn't work out, skip Anthem, just go home. Well, we're actually not gonna be doing any of those options, and we now have a plan D. Spoiler alert, I am going on a cruise, but I don't have anything like formal. On Anthem last time I did try to get away with something a bit more casual, but I think I just want to find something a bit nicer. Okay, never mind. I definitely thought I was going to be able to find at least something. Unsuccessful. Side note, we are in the midst of packing, so bear with me. It's quite funny to think back to my first cruise contract because it is absolutely terribly documented. I remember going into that contract and being like, wow, this is gonna be such a great opportunity to get like a YouTube channel really going. I could not have been further from the truth. There were a lot of different transitions going into ship life that were very stark for me, but surprisingly, one of the biggest ones was like what I was wearing. Prior to ship life, my wardrobe was all over the place, but something it definitely lacked was like business casual. Growing up, I used to share a room with my grandma, and I remember she used to always like to buy me Zara stuff, but I was like, just feels so mature. Long story short, the original goal was to find a formal dress. We did not succeed on that front. However, I did find some more like business casual goodies, and now I just need to finish putting all of this into a suitcase. At this point, the most stressful part of all this is not necessarily this part of the packing, it's this. Like I mentioned before, the original plan of this whole thing was to do a trans-Pacific cruise. I was trying to inch my way closer to home. However, instead, we're actually gonna be going further away. Timeline-wise, today is one of my last days in Japan. I cannot believe how fast the past 3 months have gone. But essentially, the plan is to do a little round-trip cruise and then come back here for literally a day before I fly home. I feel like I will never not think traveling is just the coolest thing in the world. I'm literally like pinching myself that this is something I'm doing for work. Only about a week ago, this opportunity has fallen into place. I'll explain all the details a little bit later, but I do want to share with you guys the places that I'm going. There are 3 Japanese ports that we're going to be going to, and then we're also going to be going to Taiwan. I've never been to Taiwan before, so I am so excited. I'm not 100% sure what the weather is like in that region, but I feel like it's probably a little bit more humid than it is here. So I'm packing a lot of linen, a lot of dresses. Just in case it's warm enough, I'm bringing some bathing suits. I do need socks, but I don't need this many. These are my Bombas. I wear them every day. When you buy socks from Bombas, they actually donate a pair for each pair purchased, and they're also very thoughtfully designed. For example, they have these little ankle tabs so you don't get blisters. Also, no toe seams at the front. These are definitely the most functional socks I've worn, but they also have more things than just socks. They make a whole bunch of essential clothing items such as underwear and t-shirts, and together with the socks, that makes up the top 1, 2, and 3 most requested items in homeless shelters. All of their items have been tested for strength and durability, and something I really love about the company is that they're always trying to improve. Personally, I feel like I can really resonate with this because I'm always trying to be the best version of myself. And it's really neat to see how a simple yet practical purchase can actually make a big difference. And with my code, you can get 20% off. If you'd like to support me in this channel, try a pair for yourselves and make a difference, make sure to use my code Wanderlust Alley at checkout for 20% off. Thank you, Bombas, for sponsoring this video. Ready. I feel like something that people ask me a lot is what was the biggest culture shock of coming to Japan? I feel like this one that I'm thinking of, I don't think about too often, but it definitely made a huge impact in my lifestyle when I first moved here. And that is things like supplements, things like vitamins or superfoods, protein powder. It was all stuff that you couldn't find in Japan, so you had to order online, and it was like this whole thing. Especially since I've been training for triathlon, I've definitely been trying to up my protein intake, but it's been really hard
because I haven't been able to find protein powder. That is, until yesterday, if you haven't heard of Don Quixote, it is anxiety in a store. It is so disorganized. There's so many lights and sounds. It's like so overstimulating and loud. Honestly, I don't love going in there, but I saw that they were having like free protein samples. Like, wow, this is very not Japan. And I ended up getting this peach one. I didn't expect it to be that great, but I couldn't resist. At first, I was like, why would I buy this? I'm literally going home next week. But then I was like, I can bring it on the ship. Here's breakfast this morning. May not be the cutest breakfast in the world, but super tasty and protein packed. Just got some Greek yogurt, protein powder, banana, peanut butter, cinnamon, and honey. I feel like it's about time that I give you guys a little bit more background information. I feel like in some ways this just happened so fast. I haven't even been able to process it myself. Basically, I am going on board as a journalist and I'm gonna be reporting on behalf of a magazine. Never in a million years did I think I would be in this situation, but I feel so, so grateful. Got my business casual going on, at least for like the first meeting. Like I mentioned previously, I was originally planning to just go on whatever ship I went on as a guest and like paying for it in full, but in this situation, I'm not necessarily being comped as like a content creator for my channels, but I am obviously being afforded this experience because of this job. Yeah, it's a little bit different, but I'm really excited. At this point, I really don't know what to expect. I just feel so overwhelmed with gratitude. But nonetheless, it's time to go to the port.
Not me, literally on my way to the wrong cruise terminal. Typically I'm pretty good at navigating, but today is not my day. And it hasn't been just one thing. So first I was on my way. I knew I had to take one train. Easy. But then midway through my journey, I was like, wait, is there more than one port here in Tokyo? And alas, I was going to the wrong one. I had plenty of time, so I started on a new journey, but then accidentally ended up taking a rapid express train all the way to a different area in Tokyo. Originally, I was not pressed for time at all, and I actually thought I was gonna be quite early. It's clearly not my day when it's coming to transportation, so we're just gonna take it out of my hands for a moment. We're here. I just made it on board, and this is such a like similar yet different kind of situation. I actually ended up being escorted onto the ship and through the whole boarding process, so I wasn't able to really film too much of it. Just trying to play it cool, but it is so cool to be here. We made it! Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm here. Oh my gosh, the chocolate covered strawberry. I'm salivating so much right now. Oh my gosh. Although the journey to get here has been unique. Wow, I can't believe I made it. I didn't even take a picture of the strawberries. As soon as I arrived, the vice president of MSC Japan was there waiting for me and just escorted me onto the ship. The immigration process was super smooth, and now I guess this is where the fun begins. It is so weird being on a different ship. Obviously, I've been on a couple different ships at this point, but they've all been royal, so they all kind of have like very similar branding and style. MSC, a whole different vibe, and I'm loving it. I thought I was gonna be here sooner, so I just imagined I would have been able to eat sooner, but haven't really had anything, so I absolutely devoured these strawberries. It is so pretty outside. I can't believe it. We have officially set sail. We are on our way to our first port of call, which is Taiwan. Naturally, I'm really excited to go to Taiwan because this is the first time I've ever been there. But before that happens, we do have 2 sea days ahead of us, which I'm also really looking forward to. I feel like it will just give me the opportunity to really explore the ship and see everything that the MSC Bellissima has to offer. In the meantime, however, it's time for dinner. Our first night in the dining room. The menu is very interesting because this is an Italian ship, so naturally there are a lot of Italian options. However, the table setting still came with chopsticks. For the most part, this cruise is catered towards Japanese guests, so that's why there's chopsticks here, but it's just super unlike anything I've ever experienced. Starting off, we got the rosé. I forgot to mention, they also gave me the unlimited drink package, so we're gonna be taking advantage of it. First thing on the menu is the marinated white fish with red onion, lemon, coriander. The serving is very small, but the presentation is quite nice. The flavor of the sauce is lovely. I really appreciate the intentionality here. I was gonna try to eat this pasta with chopsticks. Definitely not the move.
This is a seafood pasta. Sometimes I feel like I'm not the biggest pasta fan. I still feel like I had to try it since this is an Italian company. Pretty tasty. This is my way of trying to get my veggies in. If you guys have been around here for a while, you know that I try to have like somewhat of a balance on board, not go like crazy. And making sure I'm getting my veggies is definitely part of that. This one is a vegetarian shepherd's pie. It's very tasty. Got some chocolate cake, and he said that it pairs very well with some ice cream. That's what I got. There's something in the middle. Apricot filling. That's fun. I don't know if you can tell how small it is. I love the tiny portions. I love it. We're now on our way to see the first show of the cruise. Naturally, I'm a little bit biased towards entertainment, so I'm excited to see what this is.
On the stage, our magician, big applause. Showtime! Fantastic! Video.
Welcome to the London Theatre. That was such a fun show. It ended up being a Japanese-based magic show, but something I really like about magic shows is that you don't really need to understand the talking in order for you to be fully entertained. In fact, I ended up actually being a part of the show. I am the queen of if someone asks for a volunteer, I will shoot my hand up straight away, even if I have no idea what it's for, and I ended up being part of this trick. I was so in it, I was like playing these symbols, and then suddenly by the end of the trick, there was this big bouquet of flowers that disappeared. But I didn't even notice it happen, so it was really interesting. I know all the action on cruise ships happens at night, but I honestly don't think I'm gonna be staying up that much longer. Actually, I might do the cha-cha class. The sweet man that was dancing with me, his name was Aki-san. I've taught cruise dance classes. I've never taken a cruise dance class. You know, why not just go to the cha-cha class? Of course, I didn't come with a partner, which is fine, but I saw Aki-san and he also didn't have a partner. It ended up being the sweetest thing, just getting to meet him and dance with him. He was just such a gem. You know, originally I thought I was gonna feel a little bit more lonely than usual on this cruise. Because as of right now, the only other cruises I've been on as a guest have been like, I know a lot of people there. This one, I know absolutely nobody. It is kind of encouraging to feel like I can just make friends with anybody. Putting yourself in situations where it's possible to meet people is really helpful. Naturally, I feel like I connect really well with crew members because I understand them in a way that I'm sure a lot of other guests don't. But even with Aki-san, it was so nice to meet him. I feel like I'm literally falling asleep as I'm talking right now. I feel like I still have so much to show you guys. I want to do like a proper room tour. I want to show you around the ship. We have sea days for the next 2 days and then we're going to be in Taiwan, plus all the Japan ports. I feel like there's just a lot that's going to be in the cards this week. I'm literally already asleep. All right, it's been an amazing day. I'm so happy to be here. In the next video, I have 2 sea days, a port day in Taiwan, plus 3 port days in different parts of Japan. Stay tuned for all of that. I can't wait to share it with you guys. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.